your forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Some of us were lucky to see some heavier downpours this afternoon. Others have just seen some light rain showers, and that's about it. Unfortunately, though, that's going to be likely it for the decent amount of rain. We do have some more coming in here, but overall, though, things are going to be relatively dry and cloudy for the rest of the afternoon. 74 degrees currently in Champaign, and our Gibson Area Hospital and Health Services weather camera from Gibson City and a roofing Doggina is generally cloudy with winds out of the south between about 5 and 10 miles per hour. So our backyard forecast for this evening is generally going to be cloudy with a few more rain showers, and we'll be talking about still a few couple days of some warm temperatures. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now on WCIA 3 News.
People want answers after the death of 2 inmates, where people are standing in protest today.
Politicians debate the police use of deadly force, what changes Illinois could make soon.
It was kind of combining 2 of my passions.
He's been helping firefighters battle lung disease for years. How this firefighter is being honored for his efforts.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 5.
I think it's a terrible thing myself, and it's too much of it.
This concerned community member is saying there's too much violence after 2 shootings in less than 24 hours. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini. There was a shooting on Sunday and another yesterday, leaving 4 people hurt. WCIA 3's Gabrielle Cook is live in the newsroom tonight. So, Gabrielle, how is the city handling this?
Well, those shootings come as the City Council recently discussed its budget plans for first responders. Sunday's shooting happened on East Clay Street near Webster. Police say a man and woman were shot and taken to the hospital. Then just 19 hours later, another shooting happened on South Webster in Cleveland. 2 people were hurt, but their conditions have not been released. This raises the question of what is the city doing to combat the violence? City Council member David Horn says it starts with funding for first responders.
I'm sad for the city as a whole, and we definitely need highly trained, skilled individuals to respond to these crimes and other crimes that we're experiencing in the city.
Last night's council meeting set the first responders budget for 2020 and 2021, and due to increased violence, they will not be making any cuts to those departments. And a community member I spoke with lives near the shooting that happened on Clay Street, and she said she's simply tired of all the violence.
All right, Gabrielle, thanks. In Decatur has seen a number of shootings in the last month. Since August 17th, there have been 9 shootings where people were either hurt or killed. 10 were hurt, in fact, and 2 people died. A group of protesters packed the outside of the Iroquois County Jail, demanding answers for the death of an inmate, Andre Maiden. He and another inmate there died last week, but their causes of death remain unknown. WCIA 3's Jennifer Jensen is live there now. So, Jennifer, what is going on at this moment?
Paul, dozens of these protesters have lined the outside of the jail as officers stand guard in front of the property right now. This is them behind me. Voices and tensions ran high within these protesters as they shouted, quote, "Black Lives Matter, Andre Maiden's life mattered," end quote. And both families of Jason Fancher and Andre Maiden are still questioning how those inmates died, even after the autopsies were done last week. The coroners ruled out physical injury in both cases, but we are waiting for the toxicology results to get more answers. Meanwhile, Maiden's family says they're confused about how he may have died, saying they had called him a few days prior, and he said he was very sick and needed an ambulance, but was denied one in that time by the jail staff. The sheriff's office and state police have not commented on that accusation, and state police are continuing to investigate what happened in both of these cases. We'll hear from the family of Andre Maiden tonight at 10 o'clock on WCIA. Live in Watseka, I'm Jennifer Jensen, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
All right, Jennifer, we'll look forward to that report at 10 o'clock. Thanks. Urbana police are investigating reports of several women who were groped. Police say there have been 19 incidents since April of last year. About 2/3 were on or near campus, and almost all of the women were alone when it happened. Police are now asking any potential victims or witnesses to come forward. It's also suggested that you use your cell phone to record a potential suspect for police if you see anything like this happening. State lawmakers debated police use of force in a special Senate committee today. Our Capitol Bureau Chief Mark Maxwell is live tonight in Springfield. So, Mark, today's hearing, of course, comes after a summer of protests against police brutality that are continuing to sweep the nation.
Paul, good evening. Illinois has felt the pain in its communities and knows all too well that pain that comes when police use excessive or deadly force. The most high-profile example of that, at least since Fred Hampton, was the 2014 murder of Laquan McDonald in Chicago. But more recently, just as recent as last year, police near the Quad Cities tackled, handcuffed, and threatened to kill Jalen Butler, the only black man on EIU's swim team, in a case of mistaken identity. Of course, the Midwest has seen several other high-profile similar cases. There was George Floyd's case in Minnesota. Other examples in neighboring states also making national headlines. Jacob Blake in Wisconsin, Breonna Taylor in Kentucky, and Michael Brown in Missouri some years ago. Many of these moments sparking national protests that have continued for years. Some of them led to increased use of police body cameras or increased oversight, and an ongoing discussion about the use of deadly force altogether. At today's Senate committee hearing, Jalen Butler's lawyer with the ACLU of Illinois said those changes haven't gone nearly far enough.
The reforms enacted 5 years ago are not enough. We must make a commitment to change policing in Illinois. Otherwise, we'll face more police violence, more protest, and a future where skin color continues to dictate whether you're killed or seriously injured by a police officer.
Some of those proposed changes include banning chokeholds, limiting the use of force at all, prohibiting the use of deadly force unless absolutely necessary, and when police do use any force beyond just putting someone in handcuffs, there are calls now to put those incidents in a tracking database so the entire public can see and monitor how police officers and which police officers are most prone to use that force. Law enforcement experts said police have a difficult job these days, especially, and many officers deal with anxiety and depression, only adding to the burden on the job. Police have had increased training in recent years. Advocates also want to see them embrace more of a guardian mentality than that of a warrior. One idea to help accomplish that task is to strip police of things like tear gas or rubber bullets, tools they've often used to quell protests this year. Paul?
All right, Mark, I know you'll continue to follow this debate in Springfield. Thanks. Head Start locations in 3 counties were shut down today. This is a Target 3 investigation. The federal government denied grant money for the East Central Illinois Community Action Agency. The nonprofit operates Head Start locations in Ford, Iroquois, and Vermilion counties. But after reviewing the agency's finances, the feds found some problems. Those were never fixed. Staff have been laid off and the doors closed. Illinois Head Start Executive Director Lori Frichtel told us ECICAA won't manage those Head Start locations anymore. Let's take a look now at today's coronavirus numbers. There are nearly 1,500 new cases statewide. That brings the total number of infections since the pandemic began to more than 236,000. 39 more people have died, including several in central Illinois. The state has seen more than 8,000 COVID-related deaths. This year's Champaign-Urbana Pride Festival is going virtual. Organizers say because of COVID-19, they decided the traditional in-person parade and festival would not be safe. This year's theme is Staying Apart, Rising United. Organizers say there will be virtual mixers, workshops, story time, and more. Pride Fest runs from Friday, September 25th through Sunday, the 27th. A Springfield firefighter will grace a calendar for the American Lung Association. The first of its kind calendar will honor firefighters across the country who raised money for helping firefighters fight lung disease. WCIA3's Cole Hankey spoke with that firefighter today.
Once a year, Springfield firefighter Justin Stewart joins the Fight for Air climb here at the Wyndham Hotel in downtown Springfield, where they climb to the top, taking the stairs in full firefighter gear. And he raised so much money doing so that he will have his own month on the first ever American Lung Association firefighter calendar. Stewart became a firefighter back in 2014, but even before then, he would still participate in climbs like this one.
Well, it was kind of combining 2 of my passions, climbing stairs and then also firefighting. So I got to do those 2 things and raise money for a good cause, so it was a win-win.
In total, Stewart and his team raised more than $5,000 for the American Lung Association. He climbs 32 floors in around 4 minutes.
532 steps that everybody climbs. And in the firefighter category, we are wearing our full gear and SCBAs, like I mentioned, which adds about 40 to 45 pounds.
Reporting in Springfield, I'm Cole Hankey, WCIA3, your local news leader.
The calendar is expected to come out in October. Stewart doesn't know which month he's getting, but he is sure the calendar will pop up a lot around his station with plenty of faces drawn over him, too. An historical theater is up for sale in Champaign. How much it'll cost to own that piece of history, plus this.
We're jumping to the conclusion that wind turbines or solar panels are going to help it.
A solar farm is coming to town, but not everybody is happy about it. I'll tell you why.